Hello and welcome back to the Infinite Human Talk Show. I'm your host, Elizabeth Monroy. And if you're just tuning in now, we're talking about Ascension. And in the first segment, I pretty much talked about all the historical references to it in Eastern and Western philosophy and religion, and kind of dispelling the myths of it and basically saying that as you ascend, you will know the truth. So, just take what resonates from me. And as you begin to, ascension really is healing too. So as you begin to heal and ascend in your flash sequences or your frequencies, you will begin to just remember who you are, where you came from, and what you're doing here. And everything I'm talking about is in my book, The Infinite Human. And it's what we're talking about right now is a chapter on ascension or the great work, which is what it was called in alchemy. But I was talking earlier about activations and how there are many activations, and it is important to know. It is very helpful to know ascension mechanics, which is pretty much this is all ancient information that at one time was it's held within our DNA, so we know within us. It's also been written down by Yeshua 12, who was the true Christ, and many other avatars who came here. And these are the ancient scrolls that they're finding hidden all over the place. There's still some that have been hidden in France, yet to be unearthed, I get a sense of. And there are, these are like the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Book of Enoch, the Nag Hammatis that were found in Egypt. So, but most of this ancient knowledge, this hidden, forbidden knowledge, really, I want to call it forbidden knowledge, is under the Vatican in their, 50-mile hermetically sealed library that doesn't exist. But we saw it in the Da Vinci Code, so it does exist. But so it's been taken, edited out, the truth, and it's been repackaged with the encryption or the frequencies of the truth. So that's why so many people, feel very strongly about the Bible, because there's a lot of truth in there. But, it's also been edited and kind of orchestrated into a, Savior, save me. There's this, Son of God, the only Son of God, and it's taken away and weaponized into us actually worshiping the crucifixion of our own inner Christ or Christalla divine blueprint. So we actually have a divine blueprint, which is made up of 12 strands of DNA. It is it has both an internal creation and external creation. And because so much has been done to our planet, our time matrix, and by external intruder forces, we'll just say, we'll leave it at that for this discussion. Everything has been kind of thrown out of an alignment with divine infinite source, and our pathways are archways, our portals, our stargates for returning and realigning with divine infinite source have been had been skewed, almost like a Rubik cube that's been turned so that that we haven't been able to connect with a divine infinite source to really be able to have our power back and to travel, which is what we were. We were able to travel even with our bodies. We could move through stargates. Death, disease was not part of the equation. All right. So how do we get that back? That's what we're doing right now. We're getting that back, and we're in what's called a fail-safe program, as a fail-safe, so that everything in this whole time matrix and our entire multiverse is resetting to the infinite. So it's all on a kind of an auto correction, including you, including your body. But you really want to stay organic, because this is happening with the Mother Earth, our mother, that is a living organism. And all the ancients and the ancient texts and the Hopis, they talk about this, the rainbow warriors that are going to come and make the earth green again, which is the time we're in now. So they talk about all this We have the Prophecy Rock that couldn't be confiscated. That's on the Hopi Reservation, which I've been to. And, this is in the Mayan calendar, the end times at 2012, when the world was supposed to end, and the world did end. But it ended because it's resetting to the infinite, and these artificial timelines and time loops we've been in are resetting. And now we bring that down to your own self, when you bring it down to ascension and what that means for you, ascension. What that means is that your template, your divine template, has been heavily distorted and downgraded into a beastie carbon body. And you've had your Merkaba, which has been, offset. So you can't really get the rotations correct. So you can really pick up speed and do what you're supposed to do, because a Merkaba is, I write about this in the book. It means light vehicle, body. Okay, body of light vehicle. So it's your vehicle of light, so that you can actually travel in it. But why can't you do all these things? People are like, yeah, right, that's a fairy tale. I can't do that. I tried. I can't turn the lights on and off. That's because you don't have the equipment. It's like trying to talk on a cell phone and the SIM card's been removed. All right. So we're getting back our divine technology, but we're being, offered the bad copy, which is the artificial technology. So just hold on and try to biosync, if you can, more and more with organic life. And you notice it's getting harder and harder to do that. But I think the indigenous people, in the Hopi prophecy, it says we will return to the elders to get the information from them. They knew, and I'm going to be doing a talk about launching the whole show on Columbus Day, and talking about the whole genocide of indigenous people, because they held these documents, they held these truths. They knew that we were all one. They understood the connectivity of all things. And that is really, what the yogas talk, yoga is all about yogis talking about reaching this God realization, realizing you are God, everything is God. And that's what it is. And as you do that, your body also ascends in frequency and heals itself. So what is ascension really? Besides, yes, you can do a lot of activations, and there's now plasma activations as the plasma energy comes in. But even if you can't, because a lot of those activations now you can't even find anymore. And they were, there was in the Voyagers, and Ashiana Dean, she had a lot of that, but now you can only get bootleg copies. Why? Because it was the truth. But now there's also plasma energy. I know I have firsthand knowledge of that personally. So, like I said, don't believe me, you're going to have to find it out yourself. But there is a plasma energy that is just bathing this planet and creating a beautiful divine crystal river of rainbow frequencies. And if you can be in nature, especially in the waters, and I've been in like the hot springs here in Sicily, I've been in Bacalar, the beautiful pristine cenotes there in Mexico, and all over the world. This beautiful water is coming forth that's helping our bodies to transmute, to heal. And the healing process is, first of all, you're releasing all these distortions that have been engineered into your bodies, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So part of that is purging that. It's detoxing. And you can assist that, of course, by just tuning into your body and asking it what it needs each day. What does it need to eat? Do some detoxing, do some purging, whatever way that comes up, whether it's through, I always say, natural ways. We're using herbs, using fruits and vegetables, whether you're making smoothies, whether you're changing your diet, but most important, eat real food, which is really hard to do, especially in America. If you're eating food off of a truck, I live here in Italy, where the farmers, everything grows, right outside my door. So I'm very fortunate. I choose to live in that. So you want to eat live, non-genetically modified food. And if it doesn't, if it comes from our truck, you don't know if it's been genetically modified or not. They're not telling you, and they're not going to tell you. So you want to eat clean food. You want to eat real food. You want to try to be in nature as much as possible. That is really going to help you. But you also have to do shadow work. It's just part of it. You can do all the activations until you're blue in the face. You can download really high frequencies, but until you integrate them into your life, into your physical body, into your soul mission, what you're here to do, then you're really not making a change. You're not shifting yourself, your physical body, your mental, emotional, spiritual body, and you're not being the change that you came here to be. So you have to start clearing out, just as you're detoxing physically, you have to start detoxing your emotions. And we all have been MK Ultra trauma-based, mind controlled. And we have many other lifetimes. We call them past lives, but the truth is there is no time. So they're really alternate identities of yourself that are running all around the place, the planet, doing things. And many of them have had very, very, maybe you've starved to death. Maybe you've been, burnt at the stake. Maybe you've been raped, traumatized. And you have to heal not only this lifetime, and you have usually in this lifetime, you have hints about all your other identities and issues that you've carried with you into this lifetime. But you will have to heal all those parts of yourself. You have to do what is called soul retrieval, or it's really healing the fragmented parts of yourself. And as you begin to heal these fragmented parts of yourself and integrate them into the now you, who you are, because in your pivoting, you're changing your past and your future, and you're beginning to remember your future from where you fell as a divine, angelic, infinite human being, which you were. Then you'll begin to remember that, and you'll begin to remember all your identities. And when you start remembering your past lives, who we call them, and I have that all the time when I travel, I'm always remembering. I touch stones and I can remember who I was and what I was doing in these places. And as you do that, you are healing, and when your memories come back, it's a sign that you are ascending, that you have healed that part of yourself. So the proof is in the pudding. I always say, don't believe me, just do the best you can to to begin to heal that part of yourself. And you have to feel to heal. So I know a lot of you are talking to me all the time. I hear you, you're contacting me, you're talking about what a difficult period this is we are. And it is a time of great change. We are resetting our whole multiverse onto the infinite. And we are actually dropping a lot of these artificial timelines. So you may actually experience these kind of mandala experiences, these deja vu moments where something that was is no longer. It might be a place, a building, a relationship, a person. They're just not there anymore. And let it go. It's a lot. It's really, ascension is so much of just letting go, and having faith that there's something much better, and starting to remember your future, because there is something much, much better. And you have to, I think we all feel that, and we all say to ourselves so many times as we sit alone, maybe in front of our computer, or in the throes of despair, and we say there's got to be something better. And then we have to say, and I want it. And then you have to get it. Go inward and get it. Go inward and get it. And when you start having these emotions that come up, sometimes you might be going through a roller coaster right now. You might have, I say it's the best of times, it's the worst of times, because the ascension, the higher frequencies are here, but we have to clear out space to let them in. So you might have some fear, terror coming up, or some terrible depression, just such a deep sense of grief, and you have no idea where it's coming from. You just have to not get distracted, not try to get busy, of course, the people who have addictions, they know a lot of times when you're feeling bad, you start drinking, or you do something to stop, to numb that feeling, whether it's eating food, sugar, sweets, whatever, drinking, taking drugs, or shopping, or going out. calling people, trying to lose yourself in the external world. Ascension is really inscension, and it means you go inside yourself and you sit with these feelings and you ask, or you give a voice to these feelings. Why am I feeling this way? And if you don't know, that's fine. What is it? What's going on? What memories are coming up? What is it telling me to do? What's the message? What is the lesson it's trying to teach me? What do I need to learn from this, change from this? And the key is self love. Self love is the magic ingredients. You transmute yourself through loving yourself through this. And it is an inward and it is a personal, individual journey. No one can do it for you. You cannot, you can go to as many spiritual retreats or buy all of the activations you can possibly find or get all the coaching sessions, but nobody else can do it for you. People might be able to help. That's fine. You might be able to have beautiful sacred experiences or pilgrimages, and it's nice to do that and be with people that are on site on purpose. But it's ultimately you have to do it. And when you do, you will realize you were never alone, but always all one. And going inside of yourself is breaking down all these ego barriers, all these traumas, all these shadows of yourself. And as they disperse, as they clear away, then it leaves you with this profound bliss, this profound knowingness that you are infinite, all that is, ever has been, and ever shall be. It is such a peaceful, blissful state to be in. And from that place, then you can truly find your power and manifest and become a co creator of the new, what I call the infinite earth, outside of the matrix. And if you are awakening now, you may be wondering, why am I going through all this? When you look around, everyone's going through it, though. Actually, everyone is going through it, but some are going through it faster, and others might, be like holding on to the old paradigms and the old timelines. Well, that's not a place you want to be, because you were a leader. You were a leader who was creating leaders, and you can best help friends, family, colleagues who are still, you know, asleep at the wheel, in the dream, in the coma state, unawake, unaware. You can help them best by getting out of it and creating something new. We need a new everything. We need a new economy. We need new culture. We need new homes, to live in. We need new food. We need everything that is resetting and to the divine infinite source. We need real, pure, healthy, delicious, food and homes. We need to be able to live on our earth without paying to live here. It is our right. We are guardians of our planet. We need to take our planet back, and we need to care for her. All right. We need to stop all this stuff that's going down on her and begin to create beautiful eco villages, eco communities in harmony with nature, where we can raise, be a tribe and a village, and bring children up in a beautiful, loving environment where they get to learn their own gifts and talents. And this is all the future. This is on my future. This is my future timeline. And right now, everyone is choosing their future, whether they know it or not. They can either just passively take whatever, is thrown out at them to do next and follow, the Siri, turn left, turn right, wipe your rear end, buy that, eat this, get this at this stop, get this from the machine, whatever, eat whatever they give you and go wherever they tell you, and that's not the place you want to go. It's a dead end. You're like a herd being herded over a cliff. There is definitely an earth. That's not the real earth. That's ascending. That's not our organic earth. That's a cold, fabricated, artificial earth that's been mapped out during the pandemic. That's a whole dark agenda, and you really want to pull back from that. Okay, it's there. We might have to use it while it's still there, and there's a lot of people who are excited about it. being torn down. Let's take down the governments, take out these corrupt banking systems. Let's take down, all that. But we have to build something to go to. It's like, yeah, the Titanic's sinking, but we have to like get into the life rafts and have a place to go. So it's time for those of us that are waking up, that are ascending in frequency. We will have the abundance we need. We will be funded. We will have the tools we need. We will have the infinite power behind us. But we have to make sure that we are aligned with divine infinite source, and that thy will becomes our will. We can't come from a place of me, service to self, because part of being ascending is realizing the connectedness of being one with everything and being of service to others. And then you're funded. If you're of service to others, you don't ever have to worry about where your next paycheck is coming from. You don't have to worry about, what will I have to eat? Where would I sleep? What would I do? You're working for infinite source. So you're funded. Your power. So that's pretty much what ascension is. This is recorded, so I can't take questions, but I will try to intuit any questions you might have. And that's the last chapter in my book is, co-creating a new earth and new earth communities. Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much what it is a process, and it takes some linear time. It is not what many of the, I call it pop ascension movements are doing now. You think, oh, just whatever, get in the med bed, or I'll be, beamed up to the Pleiades and they'll fix me, or, the rapture. That's what I was trying to remember. The rapture, the rapture will come and I'll just be, there. I mean, everything takes work, and this is a process. You have been very, very downgraded, very, very mind controlled, very, very traumatized. And, it's not your fault. It's not, you're in this state, many of you, because you came here to help. And you got caught up in the whole trauma, karma, everything. So, and part of that is recorrecting your own karma, which means fixing things that you may have done. Many of us have gotten co-opted. We've been asleep at the wheel. So we've done things, been part of agendas that we probably might not even be aware of. Just being an American myself, I had so much karma just being American that I had to go. Peter and I, who was a physician, we had to go back and work with the indigenous people, because we basically stole their land from them, we European origins with the white people. And, there's a lot of things that need to be corrected. And it's going to have to be corrected, as we recreate. No, we don't want to recreate. Sorry. As we co-create, thank you, this new earth, this new infinite earth, free from all the karmic. I mean, I'm American, and this is Voice America. So Americans have a lot of karma because, what happened. And we're going to be talking about that on Columbus Day, the live launch of my show. But there's a lot that has to be corrected, there. And the thing is, though, many of us, because we have lived many times, we have many past lives, some of that is just trauma that we ourselves have experienced as Indigenous people. So it's very, very interesting as you begin to reclaim much more of your genetic material and your memories, your consciousness. You get much more expansive. And but the most important thing is you really want to put it into action. So part of and we're almost finished here, so I'll just wrap this up. But once you have ascended, it's really important to know your soul mission and begin doing it. And like I said, you'll be funded. So, all right. So thank you so much for joining me. And again, I will be live if this is a pre-recorded, but on other broadcasts, you can ask questions. And I'm on Voice American Empowerment Channel, and the website, infinitehuman.com, is there. Also, www.infinitehuman.com, so you can play back any other old versions if you want to, catch up with what's going on. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next week, be the divine, infinite human being you were created to be. Ciao for now.
All clear. Great job today, Elizabeth.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you take care and have a great day. We'll see you next time.